Today we're addressing a grave and pressing topic: the potential for war between the United States and China. This is not a hypothetical born of fiction, but a scenario actively studied by military strategists and policymakers. We'll examine the concepts of Thucydides Trap and the likelihood of conflict, China's actions in the South China Sea and Taiwan and their impact on American logistics, the vulnerability of U.S. infrastructure to Chinese cyber attacks and infiltrations, and insights from past U.S.-China war games. Hit the subscribe button and let's get into it. Thucydides Trap is named after the Greek historian who observed that Athens' rise provoked fear in Sparta, which led to war. It's a framework for understanding modern great power rivalries. Harvard professor Graham Allison applied this to the U.S. and China in his book, Destined for War. His research showed that in 12 of 16 historic cases where a rising power challenged a dominant one, conflict ensued. An example includes Germany challenging Britain before World War I. Today, China's rapid economic ascent, now the world's second-largest economy, and its military modernization challenge U.S. global dominance. China's actions, like constructing militarized islands, expanding its naval fleet, and prioritizing Taiwan's reunification, heighten tensions. The U.S., committed to maintaining open sea lanes and alliances like AUKUS and Quad, perceives these moves as threats. Thucydides Trap warns that fear and miscalculation can spiral into war, whether through trade disputes, naval incidents, or technological escalations. While it's not inevitable, the risk is significant. Some estimates suggest a 20 to 30% chance of conflict by 2030, with military leaders privately citing higher odds. Diplomacy is critical, but current trends, along with sanctions, tech rivalries, and military posturing, suggest a narrowing path to peace. The South China Sea and Taiwan are the most likely flashpoints for conflict. The South China Sea, through which 60% of global oil trade flows, is claimed almost entirely by China via its legally discredited Nine-Dash Line. China has militarized artificial islands, harassed regional vessels, and deployed advanced weaponry, asserting dominance over this critical trade route. Taiwan, only 100 miles from China's coast, produces 90% of the world's advanced semiconductors. Beijing's stated goal of reunification, potentially by force, directly threatens U.S. interests and global economic stability. A conflict here would severely disrupt U.S. logistics. American forces operating from bases in Japan, Guam, and Hawaii would face China's, quote, first island chain defenses. Hypersonic missiles, submarines, and drone swarms designed to neutralize U.S. naval power. War games indicate that Chinese anti-access and area denial strategies could sink key vessels or disrupt supply lines, potentially halving U.S. operational capacity within only days. Ports and airfields in allied nations like the Philippines would face sustained attacks, complicating reinforcement efforts. China's ability to project power close to its shores gives it a geographic advantage, while the U.S. would struggle to sustain long-distance operations in a contested Pacific theater. For nearly 2 centuries, since the War of 1812, the continental United States has been largely insulated from foreign military threats. A U.S.-China conflict would shatter this. China's advanced cyber capabilities could target critical infrastructure like power grids, water systems, and financial networks. Recent reports highlight Chinese cyber attacks probing U.S. utilities. The FBI has noted a 130% increase in such incidences since 2020. A coordinated cyber offensive could disable hospitals, disrupt supply chains, and sow chaos, amplifying logistical challenges for U.S. forces abroad. Physical infiltrators are also a concern. While large-scale invasions are improbable, sabotage by covert operatives targeting ports, railways, or fuel depots would have a significant impact on domestic mobilization. China's alleged police stations in Western cities and reports of espionage suggest pre-positioned networks capable of disruption. The Department of Homeland Security has warned that such asymmetric tactics could delay U.S. military responses by weeks, compounding the Pacific theater's logistical strain. Unlike historic wars where the U.S. homeland was a sanctuary, a modern conflict would bring the fight to American soil in unprecedented ways. Military planners have run numerous war games to simulate a U.S.-China conflict, particularly over Taiwan. The Center for Strategic and International Studies conducted 24 iterations in 2022 with sobering results. In most scenarios, the U.S. and allies, quote, won by preventing China's immediate conquest of Taiwan, but at a staggering cost. U.S. losses in these scenarios included multiple aircraft carriers, dozens of warships, and thousands of personnel within only weeks. China's losses were heavier in these scenarios, often losing 80 to 90% of its invasion fleet, but its proximity allowed rapid resupply. The Rand Corporation's 2016 simulations warned that China's missile arsenal could overwhelm U.S. air defenses, while logistical bottlenecks, like limited Pacific basings, hampered American operations. A 2023 U.S. Air Force war game projected that without preemptive repositioning, U.S. forces could lose air superiority early. These exercises underscore a brutal reality. Even a victory would devastate both sides, disrupt global trade, and trigger economic collapse. Taiwan's semiconductor industry, if damaged, could halt tech production worldwide for years. No simulation assumes a quick or clean outcome. Most project a prolonged, bloody stalemate. A war between the U.S. and China would be catastrophic. It would reshape the global order at an unimaginable cost. Thucydides Trap reminds us that rising powers and established ones rarely coexist peacefully without deliberate effort. The South China Sea and Taiwan are flashpoints where missteps could ignite disaster, while cyber attacks and sabotage would bring war to American soil in ways unseen for nearly 200 years. War games paint a grim picture. Pyrrhic victories at best, global ruin at worst. The path forward lies in diplomacy, de-escalation, and mutual restraint. Share your thoughts below and let us know what you thought. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.